A new survey says that 7 out of 10 Americans support non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ Americans. This is good stuff. We're moving in the right direction. Check it out. Ring the bell. Leave your comments, and please subscribe to our channel. On the line with us right now is Natalie Jackson. Natalie is the research director with the Public Religion Research Institute. Publicreligion.org is the website. This is fascinating stuff. They just released a new survey. P.R.R.I is a nonpartisan, nonprofit research organization. And, you know, given all these rollbacks for protections for transgender individuals, including Trump's transgender military ban, you know, which is pretty grim stuff, they did a survey and they released it today. So, Natalie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And by the way, just FYI, because I'm doing this remote, there's about a 1-second delay in our phone things. So don't let that disorient you. It's just that's the way it is, and I can't do anything about it.
Okay, great.
Tell me about your survey. Who were you asking? What did you ask? And what did you come up with?
Sure. So we regularly survey all Americans about a variety of topics, and this particular survey focused on transgender and LGBT issues, particularly in light of the anniversaries this month, Stonewall, various Supreme Court decisions affecting those communities. So we wanted to really shine a light on what the American people think. Now, the surveys that we do are representative. This particular one is 1,100 people nationwide, randomly selected by telephone. And so the basic finding here is that people are broadly supportive and becoming more supportive of transgender issues and transgender rights than we've seen in the past.
That's marvelous. What do you attribute that to?
You know, it's difficult to point to any one thing, but we do see an increasing number of people saying that they have interactions with transgender or, you know, more broadly, LGBT people. And the more people interact, the more familiar they are with these issues, the more friendly they are toward them. You know, it's really a humanizing effect. And we do see some increases in people who say they know someone or have a friend or close friend or family member who is transgender. So I'd attribute it partly to that and partly just to more awareness out there in society.
Yeah, you know, that's my sense of it. And it seems to me that there was, over the last, really in the last decade or so, maybe 2 decades, that, you know, I mean, Louise and I have you know, a gay person specifically in our immediate family and a trans person in our extended family. But I'm not sure that either would have been, you know, talking about it or, you know, upfront or open about it. I can't speak for my own family, but and don't want to. But you know, broadly speaking, people in those situations were prior to the last few decades, by and large, hiding out, and now there's, you know, been this coming out, and as a consequence of this, a lot of people who may have held, frankly, bigoted views in the past are going, oh, wait a minute, that's my cousin. Or wait a minute, that's my son, or that's my daughter, or that's my, you know. Do you think that that this is, which is the chicken and which is the egg? You know, which is driving the other? Is it that there's more people coming out, you know, and particularly, you know, coming out after the AIDS epidemic and or the crisis in the 1980s and Reagan's deplorable, you know, vicious, hateful response to that, and then the backlash to that after Reagan was gone. Where have these cultural inflection points occurred, and are those the things that are driving this acceptance? Are those the things that drove more people coming out, and is that driving the acceptance, or is the acceptance allowing people to come out?
You know, it's really difficult to say which, and I'm sure there's a lot of research going on trying to figure that out. But we do know that these things are very heavily correlated. And we also know that, particularly with the concept of same-sex marriage, Americans' opinions on that issue have switched faster than we've seen for almost any other issue in recent memory that we have, survey data on. 15 years ago, it was almost taboo for even Democrats to say they favored same-sex marriage. American public opinion was very heavily against it. And now it's completely reversed. And we have, huge proportions of the public saying, yes, same-sex marriage should be legal. Yes, transgender rights are important. And, there's a lot of things behind that, a lot of advocacy, a lot of work, a lot of people coming out and being bold and being willing to be visible.
Yeah. Your organization is the Public Religion Research Institute, and I have to confess, I don't know a great deal about your organization. Why religion and research? What do you do? Where'd you come from? And what other things are you looking at?
Sure. So we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization, as you mentioned earlier. Our founder, Robert Jones, is a religion and politics scholar who began this organization about 10 years ago. And really what we do is we study those issues that are at the intersection of where the big cleavages are in society, what's driving the differences that we see. And a large part of it is politics, and a large part of it is religion. And so we really seek to highlight where public opinion in the country actually is. Because, for example, with transgender issues, given the direction of the current administration right now, you would not think that the United States is a friendly place for LGBT people. And certainly the administration's policies are not. But if you actually ask the American public, they don't feel that way. What we're seeing is the administration working against what the American public actually thinks. So
which is
we
a
like
good
to
sign
shine
for the future. I mean, the present is difficult. I'm sorry.
Of course. And we like to shine the light on issues like that and make sure that advocacy groups, funders, policymakers, media, the general public, everyone is aware of where public opinion actually stands on these important issues in society, as well as what drives differences in opinion, which is largely religion, politics, and race.
Right. We have, and in fact, right now we've got a married gay man running for president of the United States, and he's polling in the top 5, which, as you say, 15 years ago, definitely would not have been the case. We just have about 25 seconds left before we hit a hard break here, Natalie. I'm curious if you think that, we now have several Muslim representatives in Congress. We have a Hindu representative who's running for president. Is religious bigotry in the United States on the wane, or is it waxing? Growing?
It's one of those things that goes back and forth from time to time, and we can only hope that society is getting better on this dimension.